Part 32. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 311. Chapter 311 Saving the Country Through Curves. At this time, Xiao Na's phone rang. Xiao Na's face suddenly regained her composure and she answered the phone in a panic. Great God, have you changed your mind? Great God, please don't abandon me, I can give you whatever you want. Master? Are you out of your mind? Tell me, what good things have you done? You were hacked like this on the internet, and the Qiao Group's stock price fell. You are simply embarrassing our Qiao family. Want me say, you better stop messing around in the entertainment industry, apologize to me and get out of the entertainment industry. There was a man with a sharp voice on the other end of the phone. Jonah replied aggrievedly, I'm sorry, Grandpa, I will handle it all. Don't let me quit the entertainment industry. I'll give you 3 days, it's so embarrassing. The sound on the other end of the phone was cut off. Jonah's eyes were red with grievance. Embarrassing. Since she entered the entertainment industry, she has given countless free advertisements to Qiao Group based on her popularity, and she actually calls her a disgrace. The Qiao Group can squeeze out the Han Group and become one of the 4 major families in the imperial capital, and she plays a big role in it. Why didn't you let her quit the entertainment industry when she was admired by millions of people in the past? But now that something happened, you despise her? He, she has seen through it too. This family that puts interests first has no warmth at all. Goddess, don't be sad, just follow the public relations instructions, we will make a comeback. The agent comforted him. No matter how bad her character is, Xiao Na is still an experienced actress who has been in the industry for 15 years, and her acting skills are still very good. Otherwise, it is really impossible to become the most popular female artist in the entertainment industry based on her beauty and hype. When Xiao Na was at her peak last year, she won the title of Most Popular Female Artist and Female Star of the Year. She originally thought that with such a good development momentum, she could top the charts by the end of this year and even bring home a Best Actress. But I didn't expect that something like this would happen. It can only be said that Xiao Na has always been a bully and used to showing off her power and other things, and she has always been unscrupulous with the support of a great behind her. So now I don't know how to restrain myself anymore. I even dare to steal the music from the competition and do bad things so blatantly. Now it's okay. But if I hit a hard wall, I'll fall off the horse. How to do it? Jonah can no longer care about the issue of face or not. God doesn't care about her, and her family members are also putting pressure on her. Now she can only apologize. First, hold a press conference and publicly apologize to Xia Ying. What should be said has been prepared by the public relations company. Even if you were confused and did something wrong, and you are not old now, netizens will only when you are a child who made a mistake, apologize sincerely, and then let everyone see your repentance and changes later. When this matter is over, we will continue to work hard and make a comeback. The agent looked at his hand. He read from the prepared document, in the future, the company will arrange for you to do more charity to gain popularity. Don't take on any roles in the second half of the year, calm down, do more charity, and save the country. Do charity. Jonah frowned, can't you just donate some money? Why bother? Why don't you let her take the role? The entertainment industry is changing so quickly now. How can she maintain her popularity and traffic if she doesn't take on roles or appear in public? It won't be long before the audience forgets about her. The manager was tired. I just want you to do charity publicly and post a lot on the internet. We will hire trolls for you. Anyway, we won't let you be forgotten by the public. Thanks to the little cutie Yinger for the reward. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 312. Chapter 312 Press Conference. Then should I go to that kind of poor mountainous area? Jonah felt uncomfortable thinking about it. She didn't want to go to that kind of place because it was so dirty and messy. The agent nodded. Jonah's face darkened. I don't want it. The agent was helpless again. Goddess, it's easy to hack a person, but it's hard to clear someone's name. If you don't take some special measures and make some sacrifices, why should the public forgive you and still like you? Jonah bit her lower lip and said nothing. If you want to make a comeback, just follow the company's arrangements, otherwise, no one can save you this time. Hearing the agent's decisive words, Xiao Na had no choice but to grit her teeth, her heart pound, and she nodded in agreement. Just go, Xiao Na, will not perish. Those people are all waiting for me. According to the plan arranged by the company, Xiao Na first held a press conference to publicly apologize to Xia Ying. He said that he was confused for a moment, and then things developed like that, and he had to tell lies one after another in order to cover up the lies. Xiao Na said that she would take a break from acting for half a year and repent and change her ways in the following days. She hoped that everyone could forgive her. Jonah's acting skills are not outstanding. Even though she was extremely unwilling in her heart, she still acted very sincerely at the press conference. Excuse me, Xiao Na, there is a lot of publicity on the internet asking you to quit the entertainment industry. What do you think? Do you think you've done so many wrong things and you're still qualified to stay in the entertainment industry? Who is the big guy behind you? The questions thrown by the reporters were more difficult than the last. Kiana took a deep breath, put on a pitiful posture, and explained, I admit that I have done a lot of wrong things, and stealing music was just a matter of hot-headedness. I have been living with it ever since. In the deep self-blame, I was just afraid of being disliked, so I had to keep lying. As for Psyche and the others, it was because I was young and ignorant before, but now I think about it, I really shouldn't, so in the future, I will change my ways and hope everyone will give me a chance. As Xiao Na spoke, she also pretended to wipe the tears that she had finally squeezed out. Jonah's acting skills are beyond praise, and her tearful confession made the reporters in the audience soften their hearts for a moment. The agent couldn't help feeling secretly happy when he saw the good response from the audience. They have already thought about these questions and the answers to them. That's why Xiao Na can perform so calmly when facing these problems. Then Xiao Na, what do you want to say about Xia Ying's divine song Rebirth that is popular all over the world? Do you think Xia Ying can surpass your previous popularity if she enters the entertainment industry? Today is the San Diego finals. Do you think Xia Ying has a high chance of winning? Then what do you want to say to Psyche's actresses? They quit the entertainment industry because of your persecution. Will you help them enter the entertainment industry again? Jonah stared at the aggressive media reporters with half-shaded eyes. What kind of questions were they asking? The focus today is obviously on her. Why does it involve Xia Ying? Oh, didn't I just write a song? What's the big deal? Enter the entertainment industry? Still want to surpass her? Totally impossible. Of course, this is also what Xiao Na thinks in her heart. On the surface, Xiao Na still answers the questions in a calm and generous manner. Xia Ying is a very talented musician, but I think the entertainment industry is not suitable for her. Moreover, she is studying music, not a major, and her acting skills are still not as good as some professional actors. Jonah answered in a neither humble nor condescending manner. Thank you, little cutie, for the reward. Stay in the memories and look at the past. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 313. Chapter 313, The Light of Chinese Music. Jonah's press conference was broadcast live online, so Xia Ying's group of people in San Diego could also watch it? Chu Sensio looked at Jiao Na's flat face on the phone screen and said angrily, "This woman's smile is real." Hearing what Chu Sensio said, Xia Ying turned sideways and took a look. "Don't look at her. It's annoying to see her." Upon hearing this, Chu Sensio put away his phone obediently and asked Xia Ying, "Cousin Xia Ying, do you think this person can't be cleared so quickly?" Xia Ying also had a hard time answering. In a place like the entertainment industry, the water is so deep. Who knew? It was hard for her to predict whether Jiao Na would make a comeback, but at least Jiao Na still had a lot of fans. Even if she did this kind of thing, many fans said that their Jiao Na was only 19 years old and still a child. She could be forgiven as long as she sincerely repented of her wrongdoings. Xia Ying just laughed at this. As expected, the crazy fan is still an extremely powerful existence. However, in her previous life, Jiao Na was successful in the entertainment industry. In her previous life, she won the Best Actress award this year and was selected as the Actress of the Year at the end of the year. She is the most popular actress this year and is also the so-called national actress. Goddess. Xia Ying doesn't comment on Jiao Na's acting skills. After all, she has been acting since her debut as a child star. There is really nothing to say in this regard. But her character is really hard to describe in words. No one in the entertainment industry knows about her character, Jiao Na, but no one dares to reveal it. Because the Jiao family is behind Jiao Na, and no one is willing to take the courage to offend the Jiao family. Because of the song Rebirth, Xia Ying's Weibo account gained 300,000 followers, most of whom came here because of its reputation even though they don't play much music. China's music has always been inferior to other European countries. It is rare to produce such a world-class famous song, so Xia Ying became famous all of a sudden. Xia Ying was even described by the media with dazzling titles such as the light of Chinese music and the future pillar of the Chinese music industry. The true fans that Xia Ying accumulated before fell in love with her even more and couldn't help themselves. It has always been a pity that Xia Ying did not return to the entertainment industry. Now it seems that Xia Ying is really a true goddess. The world's top music master is taller and more prestigious than any title in the entertainment industry. Fan Xia Ying has been here for 5 years. She is really a hard-working and outstanding girl. I will always support you. Do some people who said Xia Ying likes to hype before feel hurt? Was Xia Ying's face swollen because she said she was not good enough for Jun Chennai? She is so outstanding, but she has always been secretive. If it hadn't been for this competition, no one would have known that she was a music master. Chu Sensio stretched out and secretly rejoiced in his heart. He, Chu Shengming didn't come to do research, that nuisance Jun Chennai didn't come either, and that follower Yu Lingfeng didn't come today either, so cousin Xia Ying is his alone today. No one robbed him. However, Chu Sensio was not happy with this idea for 10 minutes. When he got off the plane, he saw 3 tall, handsome men standing not far away. Chu Sensio's face immediately turned dark. Holy shit, it's these people again. Yu Lingfeng, Jun Chennai, and 11 Ju, these 3 followers appear again. The small universe in Chu Sensio's heart exploded. When Jun Chennai saw Xia Ying getting off the plane, he immediately ran towards Xia Ying. Jun Chennai was holding a large bouquet of pink roses in his hand and stared at Xia Ying with a crazy look on his face. In Chu Sensio's opinion, he has a crazy face. Yu Lingfeng walked slowly behind him, completely ignoring Jun Chennai's behavior. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 314. Chapter 314 11 Ju is undergoing spiritual transformation. Xia Ying was so startled by the bouquet of flowers that Jun Chennai held inexplicably that she took 2 steps back and stared at Jun Chennai in confusion. What are you doing? Celebrating you in advance. Jun Chennai looked arrogant and said, "Do you think this young master is particularly thoughtful? You have the heart of a big-headed ghost, the heart of ulterior motives." Chu Shenxiu retorted on the side, then snatched the flowers from Chu Shenxiu's arms, and said angrily, "My cousin Xiaoying is allergic to pollen, do you want to kill her?" Jun Chennai was shocked, "Are you allergic to Xiaoying pollen?" Xiaoying is ashamed. In Chu Shenxiu's world, as long as there is a reason for rejection, you can just make it up. Anyway, if you tell a lie, some people will believe it. Luo Xian squinted and smiled at the side. Naturally, she could see Jun Chennai's little thoughts. Luo Xian glanced at the stunning bouquet of flowers and saw the label. Jun Chennai bought them at Mo Shang's Inran flower shop. The flowers from Mo Shang Xian Ren flower shop are known as the most suitable flowers to give to your lover, and they are also the first choice for many boys to express their love. Jun Chennai gave Mo Shang's In's flowers to Xiaoying, and it was difficult for Luo Xian to pretend not to know. Luo Xian looked at the bouquet of flowers and shook his eyes. His eyes stung for no reason, and he thought of Xia Chuanhai. Luo Xian loves flowers. In the past, every time Xia Chuanhai came back from a business trip, he would bring her a bouquet of flowers from Mo Shang's Inn. Yu Lingfeng stepped forward, Xiaoying's eyes lit up, and she walked directly past Jun Chennai, walked around, and walked to Yu Lingfeng. "Jun Chennai, can you please stop ignoring me? Xiaoying hasn't seen Yu Lingfeng for a long time." She thought he wouldn't come today, but unexpectedly he came anyway. "Yu Lingfeng, what have you been doing lately?" Xiaoying raised her head and asked. Yu Lingfeng looked at Xiaoying's face seriously. Although she hadn't seen her for a few days, Yu Lingfeng seemed to miss this face very much and stared at Xiaoying for a long time. "Jun Chennai, why don't you ask me? We haven't seen each other for a long time." 11 Ju quietly stretched out his hand and asked Xiaoying through lip language, "Where are my comics?" Xiaoying said some time ago that she would give 11 Ju the latest comics, but 11 Ju had been looking forward to it for several days. Yu Lingfeng glanced sideways and saw 11 Ju's small movements with his peripheral vision, and then said to Xiaoying, 11 Ju is undergoing spiritual transformation. Don't show him anything inappropriate during this period. Zihu's face sank, "Huh? How did the master find out?" Xiaoying was amused by 11 Ju's aggrieved but helpless expression. 11 Ju, I can't help you now." Zihu burst into tears and cried, "You all collaborated to deceive me." Spiritual transformation, Xiaoying pondered the word. "Yu Lingfeng, do you want to force 11 Ju to straighten out?" Yu Lingfeng frowned slightly after listening to Xiaoying's words, stretched out her white and slender index finger, tapped Xiaoying's forehead twice, and said helplessly, "I also think you need to reform. What should I do if my future wife is a rotten girl?" Waiting online. The people on the side who were fed dog food. Jun Chennai, what? And this kind of flirting operation? Why was he not mentioned in the 108 styles to pick up girls that he studied yesterday? If I had known, he would not be so old-fashioned about sending flowers, crying, and losing in the first round. Chu Shenxiu stepped forward, forced himself between Xiaoying and Yu Lingfeng, and shouted at Yu Lingfeng, "Who told you to bully my cousin Xiaoying?" Yu Lingfeng. Jacolin. Isn't this person throwing his emotional intelligence into the Pacific Ocean? Hey, turtle dove, you've had enough. Xiaoying had a black face and dragged Chu Shenxiu away. Why did she feel that Chu Shenxiu always embarrassed her? Thanks to the little cutie Xianmeng Luying for the reward. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 315. Chapter 315. Can you give me your contact information? No, cousin Xiaoying, he just hit you on the head with his hand, Chu Shenxiu said with a serious face. Ahem. Xiaoying awkwardly covered Chu Shenxiu's mouth, which kept opening and clicking. Stop talking. Luo Xian covered her mouth and smiled secretly. Oh, her Xiaoying seems to like you. Ling Feng. Luo Xian glanced at the dark-faced Jun Chenai at the side again. Alas, there is no other way. Why didn't you seize the opportunity before? Your deskmate didn't even pick the moon like Xiaoying when you had such a chance. Now it's too late. The finals were held at the Austrian National Concert Hall. Only 30 people entered the finals. These 30 people are all young music geniuses from all over the world, but in the end, only one can become a disciple of Ma Ziguan. So everyone is secretly working hard and vowing to get first place. However, when a young man wearing a white dress, blonde soft hair, tall and delicate features, expressionless but not hiding his aristocratic air appeared in the hussy hall, many people heard the sound of broken hopes. Stefan is known as the greatest musical genius of our generation and the most promising successor to Modzi. Compared with him, the brilliance of others has dimmed a lot. Stefan is still surrounded by airtight bodyguards, surrounding him. Stefan sat down and glanced sideways in Xiaoying's direction. The girl who composed the divine song Rebirth in the semi-finals wonders if the finals will bring him more surprises. Cousin Sakura, that person is looking at you. Chu Sensio suddenly appeared and said something. Xiaoying looked at him helplessly. Why did you sneak in again? Go to the auditorium and don't disturb me. Chu Sensio curled his lips and said with regret, I just came to give you some water. Xiaoying took the Wangzhe milk from Chu Sensio and said, okay, thank you. Then I'm leaving, come on. Chu Sensio said to Xiaoying with a smile. Xiaoying nodded, I understand. When Chu Sensio walked to the door, he bumped into a petite figure. Hey, that. Chu Sensio was stopped by the girl. Chu Sensio looked back at the girl. The girl's palm-sized face is very small and delicate, and the tutu she is wearing today makes her as cute as a doll. Oh, who are you, Tanguo? Ha, right. Tanguo nodded quickly, secretly happy that Chu Sensio still remembered her. Come on. Chu Sensio said politely. That. Chu Sensio was about to leave again, but Tanguo stopped him again. The expression on Tanguo's face was a little awkward, and her hands were holding her skirt unnaturally. As if he mustered up the courage, he finally said it, okay, can I have my contact information? Chu Sensio was stunned at first, and then realized that he was being accosted by this little Lolita. Chu Sensio curled his lips and showed a somewhat evil smile, okay. Hearing that the other party agreed, Tanguo's heartbeat suddenly began to speed up. Tanguo quickly handed over his mobile phone, and Chu Sensio took it. Tanguo silently watched Chu Sensio lowering his head and typing something. Chu Sensio's eyes were lowered, and his long eyelashes were so charming and beautiful that Tanguo was stunned unconsciously. Here you go. Ah, thank you. Tanguo took the phone and looked at Chu Sensio's leaving figure, feeling excited in her heart. She looked down at the screen of her phone, which showed a brand new number, Chu Sensio. Tanguo's face suddenly turned red. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 316. Chapter 316 Modexi appears. Chu Sensio returned to the audience. Jun Chenai rolled his eyes at him. Are you going to harass Xiaoying again? Chu Sensio snorted, what are you talking about? I'm going to cheer for cousin Xiaoying. Jun Chenai's face was filled with laughter. It would be strange to believe you. Chu Sensio glanced at the judges' table. The old man with blonde hair and beard in the middle was probably the legendary world-class music master Modexi. Although he is over 70 years old, the old man still looks very healthy, with a pair of bright dark green eyes staring at the stage. Modexi had deep eyes, a straight nose, and a straight face throughout. He was like a flower on a high mountain, inaccessible and intimidating. So is this the demeanor of a master? Chu Shenxia couldn't help but look at Modexi twice. After all, this person would be his cousin Xiaoying's teacher. The fixed piece of music performed in the first round of the finals is Mordexi's famous work Shanadra. This piece has a strong musical style, and the climax part in the middle requires the player to have very deep piano skills. The climax part in the middle is often used in major music competitions to test players' hand speed and basic skills. It is not something that ordinary people can do to play every note without skipping a beat and to integrate their own personal feelings into it to give the whole piece of music a soul. And the transition at the end should be natural. From the fast pace in the middle part, slowly turn to the gentle low yang at the end. After the first round of competition, 15 people were eliminated, including Muni Ankai. After Muni Ankai was eliminated, she sat aside and sulked very unhappy. During the climax, she missed 2 notes. Although this mistake is nothing in normal times, this is a competition, and the opponents are all so terrifying. Let alone 2, even 1 would be a fatal injury. Xia Ying didn't know how to comfort her. This girl liked to lose her temper when she was unhappy, so Xia Ying thought it was better to let her calm down alone, otherwise the girl might take out her temper on her. Xia Ying felt like a girl when she was listening to Stefan's performance, and Stefan was the last one to perform. Others say he is a music machine because he never makes any mistakes. His performance is like a program coded in advance, and there are never any small mistakes. Watching Stefan perform is a pleasure. When the light shines on his golden hair and white dress, he is as dazzling as a prince in a fairy tale. Even Modzi, when listening to Stefan's playing, the light shining in his eyes was extremely soft. Stephen came out and received thunderous applause from the audience. When Stefan came backstage, he glanced at Xia Ying indifferently. Xia Ying still looked at him with a look of surprise. In fact, Xia Ying didn't know that in Stefan's heart, she had been classified as an opponent. The second round of the competition is a test of on-the-spot composition ability. Everyone will come forward to draw lots, draw the corresponding theme, and then make a piece of music of about 1 minute within an hour. The theme that Xia Ying drew was love. Love, love. Xia Ying held her head in her hands and looked at that beautiful word. Her impression of this word seems to be not good, the love between her father and her mother, the love between Grandpa Shi and Grandma Guang, the humble love in her previous life. Thinking of this, Xia Ying held her chin, silently scribbling on the paper, and then thought about something. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 317. Chapter 317, Be More Awake in Broad Daylight. The competition organizing committee has provided a total of 3 themes: love, happiness, and hope. Stefan drew hope, and Tanguo drew happiness. To be honest, Tanguo has never challenged herself to write a song in such a short period of time. She was racking her brains just to conceive and find inspiration. Stephen was the calmest of all. He sat upright, picked up the pen, and brushed the paper without hesitation as if he were making a draft. Xia Ying glanced sideways in the direction of Stefan. It is said that Stefan spends most of his day conceiving music, so he writes music so smoothly. He was indeed a born musician. Xia Ying couldn't help but look at him in a daze. Stephen finished writing the song and glanced in Xia Ying's direction. Xia Ying quickly lowered her head and started writing. Stefan finished the song in one go. He didn't even read the song after he finished it. He just sat there silently, saying nothing, very quiet. To be honest, Xia Ying has never seen Stefan speak, and there has always been no expression on his face. He is obviously just a child, but he feels like he has gone through half a lifetime of vicissitudes. Perhaps genius is always not understood by the world. Xia Ying thought so and began to write her own music. When Stefan came on the stage, everyone waited with bated breath. Stefan walked towards the piano step by step, and the light shone on him. He was as eye-catching as in ancient Greek mythology. 14-year-old, with a 16-year-old face, 18-year-old height, but a 40-year-old resume. This Stefan is really different. Stefan sat down at the piano and started playing. There is always a special magic in Stefan's music. In just 1 second, you will be involuntarily attracted to him. My heart jumped and danced with his notes. The theme of Stefan's performance is hope, and the name of his piece is Winter Hope. Sure enough, just like his theme, everyone calmed down after listening to his music. In some soft corner of their hearts, a small bud broke through the frozen soil and sprouted the tip of hope. After Stephen finished playing, Chu Sensio couldn't help but said, "Is this guy still a human? Is he so strong?" Jun Chennai raised his eyebrows and said nothing, but he nodded silently to express his agreement. 11 Ju doesn't know much about music. He only knows the kind that sounds good, the kind that sounds super good. Stefan is so handsome. Zihu clicked his tongue and praised. Yu Lingfeng shot him a look, and 11 Ju immediately put away his charming face. He is undergoing transformation and he cannot look at handsome guys. Tanguoer followed Stefan on the stage. When Chu Sensio saw Tanguoer, a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. "It's a cute little candy." Jun Chennai had a dark face after hearing this and looked at Chu Sensio sideways. Can it not be disgusting? Chu Sensio rolled his eyes at Jun Chennai. Don't you think Tanguoer is cute? Jun Chennai drooped the corners of his mouth and said nothing. So what if he is cute? He, Jun Chennai, is a devoted person. Except for Xia Ying, no one else can fall into his eyes. But Jun Chennai still glanced at Tanguoer symbolically, little lowly. He does not like. I don't know what I did, but this little girl seems to like me very much. Chu Sensio held his head and smiled while talking. Jun Chennai stretched out his hand and patted the back of Chu Sensio's head. It's broad daylight, please wake up and stop dreaming. Thanks to the little cuties Blue Butterfly's flower of the other side and Luo Chiran for their rewards. Please give me a recommendation vote. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 318. Chapter 318 Flowers from the Other Side. Chu Sensio groaned, "You are just jealous." Jun Chennai ignored him. Tanguoer unconsciously looked in the direction of Chu Sensio in the audience. Her theme was happiness, and her creative inspiration came from Chu Sensio. The name of the song is Girl's First Love. The listener can clearly feel from the cheerful tune that a young girl in love is testing whether a young boy is attracted to her. When she saw the boy for the first time, the girl's heartbeat became flustered, and the rhythm of the song was also very brisk. In the following days, the girl has been silently missing the boy, and it is easy for the audience to empathize with him at this time. It was as if the girl who missed spring was right in front of her at this moment. The girl had been thinking about the boy, and finally met the boy again. The tune sped up again, and finally the boy and the girl were together. The tune became more and more soothing and melodious, and finally made the audience feel happy. An ultimate point of pleasure that ends suddenly and has a long-lasting flavor. Although the following story comes from Tanguoer's one-sided imagination, she really fell in love with that person at first sight. The feeling of a lifetime. When she saw him for the first time, she really wanted to be with him. At the end of the song, there was warm applause from the audience, and Tanguoer bowed in thanks. The next person to take the stage is Xia Ying. Wearing a red dress, Xia Ying was like an eye-catching flame, burning blazingly on the stage, immediately gathering the focus of the audience. The name of Xia Ying's song appears on the screen above, Bana Flower. Bana Flower, also known as Manzushawa, represents new life. The audience frowned in confusion. Isn't Xia Ying's theme about love? What does it have to do with Bianhua? Amidst everyone's puzzled looks, Xia Ying slowly walked towards the piano, sat down gracefully, and started playing. In Hussein district, Stefan looked at Xia Ying from behind the stage. He wanted to know what kind of surprise she would bring him this time. Love, this word should be associated with all kinds of beautiful and tender moments, but Xia Ying's prelude was so depressing that it was suffocating. Is this really love? The expressions on everyone's faces are becoming more and more confused. Stephen raised his eyebrows and seemed to be very satisfied with Xia Ying's song. She could always come up with something different from others, and he was looking forward to it. In the middle part, the song begins to become gradually melodious and brisk. The audience's depressed hearts were immediately lifted by Xia Ying, and everyone smiled. This is the music of love. Probably, sometimes love is not the icing on the cake, nor does it come naturally, but it appears when you need it most. When you are most helpless and hesitant, that person comes to your world like a god. He lets you know what heaven is like and lets you know that the world is not all darkness and sadness. That person taught you what love is. Xia Ying finished playing the song. In just 1 minute, many people had tears in their eyes. How should I put it, this song is really hard to figure out at the beginning, but as you go to the end, you understand its charm more and more. Because of this piece of music, many people think of the person who hides the deepest in their hearts. In your life, you will meet at least one person who you will never forget. He may not be your current lover or your first love, but he must be someone who teaches you to love. Before meeting him, you were an ignorant girl. After meeting him, you realized that wonderful thing called love. Thanks to the little cuties, the devil's angels tears of ice blue worry for the reward. There is an activity to give out book coins in the book review area. Little cuties, please participate. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 319. Chapter 319, the final link. Higanhua, new life. Obviously, the person in Xia Ying's song brought her unprecedented love. What Xia Ying didn't notice was that the moment she finished playing the song, Yu Lingfeng's usually expressionless face in the audience was now full of warmth. A faint smile gradually appeared at the corner of Yu Lingfeng's mouth. At the end of the game, only 3 people were left, Xia Ying, Tang Guo'er, and Stefan. The 3 of them were already in the top 3, and what they had to do now was rank. Then the first one will be selected and become Modexi's close disciple. The game has reached this stage, which is also the most exciting and heart-pounding moment. The final competition is easy to say and difficult to say. In front of the contestants, there are 13 songs with the same theme, from 12 judges and Modzai. What they have to do is to identify which one of the 13 pieces of music is Modzi's. To become a disciple of Modexi, first of all, your musical understanding and aesthetics must be consistent with Modexi. This session not only tests the contestant's music appreciation ability, but more importantly, Modzi is testing which one is most suitable to be his successor. The current musical talents of these 3 are not much different. No matter who among them finally becomes Mordexi's disciple, Mordexi will be very happy. So now, it's not Modexi who is choosing them, but they are choosing Modexi. The 3 people on the stage were wearing sound-isolating headphones. 13 pieces of music were played in the headphones in sequence. There would be a beep at the beginning and end of each piece of music. After listening to the music, they would have 5 minutes to think and write down their thoughts. Answer. Of course, the judges and teachers also considered what would happen if 3 people, 2 of them, or no one answered correctly. If there are at least 2 people with correct answers, then the final decision will be given to Modexi, and he will keep the one he likes. If no one answers correctly, then it is a pity that Modexi will not choose the disciples from among them. So this last part is very thrilling and exciting. Xia Ying wore headphones and listened silently to the music coming from the headphones. Ma Zi is her idol in the music industry, the height she has worked hard to reach, so Xia Ying goes all out for this, and she must become his disciple. In fact, these 13 pieces of music all sound similar at first glance, with the same style and the same tone. Because of this, it is difficult to distinguish which piece is from Ma Zi. After all the songs were played, the contestants took off their headphones and began to recall and deliberate. Xia Ying thought for a long time before writing the number 6 very seriously on the paper. Tang Guo'er was a little confused after hearing the whole story. She could actually rule out a few, but she couldn't determine which one it was. Therefore, Tang Guo'er wrote 5 as if by luck. Stefan was very calm after listening to it. After thinking for a while, he wrote 6 firmly on the paper. Finally, the papers of the 3 of them were presented to the audience and the judges. Mordazzi asked them to explain the reasons for their choices in turn. Xia Ying thought for a while and said, "Actually, I don't have any special basis, but I always have a very strange feeling that the 6th song must be it." Stefan frowned when he heard this. After hearing this, Modexi showed a meaningful smile. "Thanks to the little cutie Yuan Suya, cheers for the reward." Huh. This nickname successfully caught my attention. Hee hee. Hey, I love Ni Meng. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 320. Chapter 320. The final result of the competition. When it was Stefan's turn to explain, the reasons given by Stefan were very professional. "Mr. Modzi's music is easy for me to identify, because I have listened to each of your songs more than 100 times, so I am very familiar with your style." Mordazzi nodded approvingly, looking at Stefan's eyes shining. The final result, the 6th piece, is Modzi's song. This means that both Xia Ying and Stefan guessed correctly, so in the end, Modexi will choose one of them to become his close disciple. As for Tang Guo'er, she won the global bronze medal in the San Diego music competition and placed 3rd. The judges and teachers decided to discuss with Modexi before deciding on the final result. During this time, Xia Ying and Stefan were sitting in the waiting area and looked at each other. Xia Ying's heartbeat was very fast. Whether she could become Modexi's disciple would be revealed soon. In fact, she didn't have much confidence in her heart. Her opponent was Stefan, and Stefan's explanation just now was obviously much more professional than her. The explanation she just gave seemed like she was lucky enough to be right. In short, Xia Ying felt a little unsure. Xia Ying held her head with her hands and stared at the audience. Chu Sensiu gave Xia Ying a cheering gesture and smiled sweetly. Tang Guo'er had already sat in the audience at this time. She frequently turned around to peek at Chu Sensiu, and then happened to see the small interaction between Chu Sensiu and Xia Ying. The way Chu Sensiu looked at Xia Ying was full of love. Tang Guo'er's heart immediately collapsed like a deflated balloon. Does it mean that Chu Sensiu likes Xia Ying? Tang Guo'er held his head in his hands and fell into self-sorrow. That day when she saw Chu Sensiu's Weibo, she saw that Chu Sensiu had followed Xia Ying and liked all of Xia Ying's Weibo posts. It seems that this is indeed the case. Tang Guo'er felt a little upset for a moment. From the first time she met him, and then cautiously asked others about him, she thought she would have a chance to confess her love, and maybe have a chance to be with him. As a result, she didn't even take the first step, but found that she already had someone she liked. Tang Guo'er pursed her lips, looking aggrieved. After half an hour passed, Modzi gave his final reply. Xia Ying and Stefan stood on the stage. Everyone's heart was in their throats. The result of such a long competition was finally coming, and everyone couldn't help but feel nervous about it. Actually, I don't think I need to elect a close disciple. As soon as Modesi said this, the audience was dumbfounded. What does Modesi mean? Doesn't he want both? Has he changed his mind? Xia Ying and Stefan looked at each other, both of them a little surprised. I like both of you very much, I like you from the bottom of my heart, so I decided that I want both of you. As soon as Modzi finished speaking, the audience burst into warm applause. Xia Ying held her chest and breathed a long sigh of relief. She was scared to death. She thought Modexi didn't want any of them. Xia Ying was a little surprised that Modzi actually accepted her and Stefan. Not only that, the audience also said that this was unexpected. Xia Ying walked towards Stefan, looked at him with a smile, stretched out her hand to him, and said in standard English, "Hello, please give me your advice in the future." End of this chapter.